My work is a place where I explore different ways of mothering, different ways of also pushing back against othering, and really thinking about radical inclusion and how do we complicate constantly narratives of all the different, groups that I represent or that I belong to. Hi, my name is Tanya Aguiñiga. We are sitting at the LA River, which is in front of my studio. So my studio is right on the other side, which you can't see. My work is all rooted in craft, and through craft, I make objects, I do performances, and I do community-based work that's rooted in migrant rights, healing, mutual aid, but all of it stems from a place of craft. Having grown up on the border, a lot of the larger trajectory of my work has to do with migration and with place. But I feel like a lot of my work is a reaction to what's happening in society, in wherever I am at that really specific time. And so a lot of my surroundings inspire the work that's made. During different seasons, the river just changes so much. A couple years ago when we had really crazy rains, that I started thinking about, oh my God, the river itself is asserting herself and trying to get more attention from us. And I need to pay more attention to what materials she's bringing up, what type of techniques she's using, because I came to the understanding that she was also a weaver. And because a lot of my work is fiber-based and I use a lot of weaving, I started paying attention to little things like how the river would find the perfect size rock to put into the perfect size hole, on a shopping cart, or, this is mattress springs, that hyper specificity of place and of material and of context, to connecting to nature, to connecting to ancestral practices, identity. Growing up on the border, I saw how the US constantly takes, and how they take from brown and black bodies to build up their capitalist systems, different oppression, that comes from people just constantly wanting to avariciously consume and control, also come from these places where we're not really questioning the history of where they come from, the materials that they're made with, the intent that they're made with, and if they're hurting other people in the making of their production. So for me, the performances are much more a practice in healing, in spirituality, in care work and repair work. A lot of the performances that I do are these long, meditative, kind of really excruciatingly painful, repetitive movements that I do emotionally and psychically connect to the movements that, many migrants and laborers have to do every day. So it's a way for me to kind of enter these different thinking spaces. Once I became a mother, I started feeling all kinds of different things about my experience as a human. And how crazy it is to have your body become the single source of nourishment for another human. How at different times my body was a bed, a furniture, a house, food, all of these different things. And because my background is in furniture design, I started feeling like a really strange connection between like functional objects and things around our environment and motherhood. I think all of the different threads kind of come from a place of like really thinking about nurturing and care and caretaking, and also thinking like really deeply about like how to combat a lot of the like damage done by like colonialism. So I'm constantly kind of thinking of, you know, like what does it mean to exist in the body that I exist in at like this particular time, no? And so I think a lot about feminism, and I think a lot about what does feminism mean to me, you know, how femininity, femme bodies, like we partake in a lot of creation of things, creations of humans, you know, and so all of that are acts of like generosity and belief in, you know, just generating more as like femme identifying folks. How we really survive by being each other's temples, and we really can only carry these unsurmountable like burdens and weights of things by sharing it.